Hey, friends and family alike. So, I'm going to go into just briefly about messing up. So, messing up is a completely normal part of the practice. I can't even count on all the cells in my body how many times I've messed up. And there's really ways to do it properly to where it keeps the flow and the current going, and there's ways not to do it where it kind of like cuts the energy or it can fall off. So I want to just share that messing up is part of the process, and embarrassing yourself is also part of the process. I've embarrassed myself countless times, even recently, now that I consider myself like a professional medicine musician. Just recently embarrassed myself so bad after this ceremony, and just laughed at myself, and it was humbling. It's like, no matter how good you get, no matter how confident you are, no matter how skilled you are, you're still going to embarrass yourself. So don't let that get you down. And there's ways to, when you mess up, to just jump off the current. So we like to, or to jump on the current rather. So we have a little, I wouldn't call it a rule, but just a recommendation for when people share at the farm. When they mess up, you don't want to say anything like, oh, sorry, or like stop the song, or like stop strumming and then like jump back on, especially if there's drums, especially if there's people singing along. It can, just really kind of cut the energy a little bit, which is okay. If that happens, just jump right back. If you accidentally cut the energy, if you're like used to apologizing for messing up and you're still, working on stuff like that, then it's completely okay. Just jump back on, and 9 times out of 10, people aren't even going to remember that you cut the energy, because you're gonna pick it back up and they're gonna be right back into the current and the vibe. But there's ways as well to not cut the energy and just keep going on the vibe. So I'll use an example. It's kind of hard to give an example of messing up, but I'll do my best. So let's do the Ganesha mantra, just because we did that a couple times already. So let's say I was like, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Gana, and I'm doing it, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And then, so instead of like stopping and going back to C, I would just stay on D minor. So let's say I change to D minor a little bit early, and I'm like, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So rather than like, stopping or even just trying to go to C, then you can just stay on D minor. It might sound a little weird with the tone, but then just stay on D minor until the chord actually goes to D minor. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And 98%, unless there's like a really music theory, like professional master that's used to analyzing songs, they're not going to notice that you like changed a chord early. So just keep flowing with it. I'll give another example of if you forget the words. Oh, that is a really common one. So first of all, if you're unsure on the words, or if you're in like a heightened state of awareness induced by some kind of psychedelic or ganja, even cacao, or even just the energy so high and you get swept into the trance. Unless you know the song like the back of your hand, it's a good idea to just have the book there as like just in case. So if you forget the words, instead of like, oh, wait, what was it? You'll just like, you can mumble them until you remember it. So same example, the Ganesha song. So I'll be like, open the way for my life to flow free. Na, 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 na. Luminous path of harmony. So most people will probably notice that you're mumbling, and that's okay. Nobody's gonna be like, oh my God, that song was horrible because they mumbled that one part. It's just gonna mostly just be a funny thing, and then you just jump back in right when you remember the words. Another common thing is like forgetting the entire section. And that's okay. So with this Ganesha song, there's not that many parts to it, so it's not as easy to forget the words, but definitely if you get into a wordy song like Take It All is one that I shared that has quite a lot of verses, and I've completely forgotten whole sections when I sing that song. So I'm just gonna keep the same example, Ganapataye. So I'll be like, Ganapataye Namaha. Normally I'd be like, open the way, but I'd be like, and then just kind of keep playing so that the drums and the vibe can go, people can continue moving, and they're just like, and just make it look intentional, like maybe even like, oh, and then open the way for my life to flow free, you know, something like that. So that's one thing. If you mess up the strumming, or you like fiddle, or you know, sometimes you can like just make a horrible sound like on the guitar, and the only way anyone in the circle is gonna notice you messing up is if you bring awareness to it. So the less awareness you bring to it, so if you stop, if you like just completely shift the melody, if you say sorry, anything like that, then everyone's gonna notice, and it's gonna the energy, which is okay because you can jump right back on. But if there's a way where you kind of, you know, it's like you're kind of when you trip, if you trip on something and you like bust your ass, of course everyone's gonna notice that. But if you know, trip and then you're like kind of, you know, like it's kind of like you're playing it off, you know, like, well, nothing happened here, and so the less awareness you bring to it, and the less in your mind about it, like, oh shit, I hope nobody noticed that, then the more fluid it's going to be, and the more you bring awareness to it, the more you let people know that it's happening, the more that they are going to know about it, and the less that the current is going to keep flowing. So imagine it like a jump rope. The song is like a jump rope. You're sitting in there, you're jumping over the rope, you get tripped up, and then you just, okay, the next time I'm going to jump back in. Last example I'll give is, you know, you miss the chords, or you forget the chords, or you forget the words, so you're like, okay, so just keep playing, keep strumming, keep going, and then just jump back in the next time that you feel confident in the words and in the chord progression. So you can see I jumped off, I'm like doing D minor early, and then that doesn't sound good, and then I'm doing C, so I flipped the D minor and C, and that's okay. I'm gonna keep going, and then so you like jump back in on like on the one of the next beat progression, on the next loop. So there's 4 bars in each little section. So if you fall off on the 2, then sometimes you can just keep playing, play it off, and then on the next one, just like jump back in really strong. And sometimes, especially with if you're messing up the chords, or the strumming sounds funny, or you mess up the rhythm a little bit, then sometimes what I'll do is actually sing louder, so then people don't hear that the guitar isn't sounding that good, because my voice will be louder, and then I use that as an opportunity to like just sing louder and like, you know, raise the tempo, so then it looks like it was either intentional or it was just like a rough transition, rather than just like bloop, and then jump back on, just like, and then it's like already transitioning, and then it will kind of leave people's mind right away, because they'll be swept into like the change of tempo, or the change of the power and the frequency. So Most important thing, I'll say it again and again, just don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going, keep flowing. Don't bring awareness to your mistakes, and just keep the current going, and everyone is going to love and support you, and nobody's going to notice but you. That's all for this lesson. I hope that it finds you well, and I hope that you can utilize this in the rest of your practice. Much love.